Another just interesting fact, these lines almost parallel each other, but this is showing social media use between females and males, and you can see that women are using social media more than men. I thought this was interesting because I think it actually goes against the cultural perception that men are sort of more nerdy and techie and into things like social media. It shows that women are actually the ones who are using social media more here, and this is in terms of actual time spent on the social networking sites. Now, back in April of 2010, ExactTarget did some research identifying why people like brands, and I did a webinar around this back several months ago in terms of how to attract likers and followers. But this was research about what motivated people to like a company, and I'm not going to talk about it much because again, because it's older data from last year. But basically, these reasons why people like companies on Facebook boils down to four things. People wanted to get something, people wanted to learn more, people wanted to show support of the company, or people wanted to get regular updates about what was going on with the company. But now I show that because now what's happened is that ExactTarget has started researching why people stop liking companies. First of all, before I show any charts here, there are just some good stats. First of all, 55% of Facebook users, so over half of Facebook users, have liked a company and then decided they no longer wanted to see its posts. And beyond that, 51% say that they have rarely or never visited a brand's company page once they've liked it on Facebook. And a full 71% of fans say that they've become more selective about which companies they decide to like on Facebook. And so here are some statistics on what people did when they got posts that they didn't want from companies on Facebook. 19% just ignored the post. 38% of them used the option to remove them from the wall, so basically to hide the company from their wall. And 43%, so really the plurality here on this chart, really just went ahead and went to the company's page and unliked them completely. So we do see that here that most of the people are choosing to just go ahead and unlike the company if they're not happy with what they're seeing from the company. So here's the chart on what caused people to unlike, and these sort of go in clumps. The first group, first of all, 44% said the company posted too frequently. Now that's very helpful to know. Unfortunately, ExactTarget does not tell us exactly what too frequently means. Too frequently for one person might mean that the company posted 5 times a day, and for another person could mean that they posted every day, you know, something like that. 43% just said that they wanted something to break through the noise, that their wall was becoming too crowded with marketing posts. And 38% said that the content became repetitive over time. So all three of those top 3 reasons there tend to have something to do with people just not liking how much they're getting on Facebook. The next group, people wanted an offer once and didn't get enough deals. That's 26 and 24%. Or their posts were too promotional. They're being too salesy. Another 24% there. And then the final group were things like they weren't relevant. They were too chit-chatty. They wanted to seek out the information instead of receiving it on their wall. That sort of thing. So I think this is really fascinating in terms of what this tells us about what companies can do to turn off their likers. Now, in terms of Twitter unfollowing, oh, no, sorry. Well, one thing I forgot to mention about the Facebook before we move into Twitter, another statistic from ExactTarget was that 70% of customers who recently liked a company on Facebook did not actually feel that they had given that company permission to market to them. So there's not necessarily a clear understanding when somebody likes you on Facebook that you are then allowed to market to them. And I thought that was really interesting. Fully 70% of people said that they did not necessarily think that they had been given permission or that they had given a company permission to market to them just by liking them. So now in terms of Twitter, Twitter users are actually less likely to stop following a brand than Facebook fans are, or people who get emails from a company in terms of unsubscribing. Only about 41% of people on Twitter have ever stopped following a brand versus 55% who have stopped liking a company on Facebook, or 91% of people who have unsubscribed to a company's emails. Of people who had been on Twitter at one point and then had quit, had deleted their profile, I thought some interesting statistics were around this also. 52% of the people who have deleted their Twitter streams entirely think Twitter is just pointless. 38% said they thought it got boring, and 23% said they thought Twitter was too chaotic, too much noise. And the main frequency-related complaint from Twitter users is that their Twitter feed is simply too crowded with marketing messages. They're just getting, by following all these different companies, they're just seeing too many marketing messages. So here's the unfollowing charts, the reasons why people stop following companies on Twitter. Again, sort of lumping these into various groups. The first three here are sort of all about an overabundance of tweets. 52% thought the content was boring or repetitive. 41% said that their tweet stream was becoming too crowded, and 39% that the company posted too frequently. So those are similar reasons to why people stopped liking a company on Facebook. The second group, there are two at 27% that both have to do with getting something. One followed a company just to get a one-time offer, and the next 27% just said they didn't offer enough deals. They wanted, these people are really wanting to get something. 21% thought there was too much sales going on. 20% and 15% was all about it just not being relevant. What the company was talking about was just not relevant to these users. Again, really helpful information starting to arise that helps companies think about what they should or should not be doing in terms of posting on Facebook and Twitter. So there's a lot of information here, and I want to talk about the practical takeaways from all of these various charts and numbers. And of course, all these charts will be available as slides on our Facebook page just shortly after the webinar. First of all, my new favorite analogy is that Facebook is like the interstate highway system. Back when the interstate highway system came out in the 50s, it was really exciting and people would take long drives on it just for fun. Now it's no longer a new thing, but it is absolutely 100% relied on. We all know that it's the fastest way to get from one place to another long distance. There are things that it can do that no other roads can do, like get me from Portland to Los Angeles in one long day. And yet there are some places that it won't go. I can't take the interstate highway to Russia in the same way that I can't connect with somebody on Facebook who's just not on there. However, I mean, the point here with this analogy is that Facebook has come to be something that we rely on, and I think will continue to be so, even if it's not something that is necessarily new or engaging all the time, or something that we are just totally blown away with 100% of the time. I think it will continue to be something that we rely on, and the fact that 3 out of 10 internet sessions right now are using Facebook really reinforces this, I think. Second takeaway, first of all, I started to write, as you see here, that Facebook is a better choice than Twitter for now. But then I thought about it, and I thought, well, really, Facebook is a better choice than blank for now, than most social networks you can think of to use for a company. And so really, the takeaway in the end just becomes Facebook is the best choice. For companies, in terms of using social media, Facebook is still really the place that you need to be. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't think about using other things, but Facebook is the place to start. So you've heard me say that before, and I think that we're just seeing that again and again as we see all these charts where, in terms of usage of social media, Facebook is so dominant. The third takeaway is that we're really starting to see the establishment of norms when it comes to social media. The reasons we see for why people are liking companies or why they're unliking them or unfollowing them on Twitter are really starting to create some clearly defined rules of engagement when it comes to social media. I've talked about some of these norms in previous webinars in terms of do's and don'ts, and this latest research just sort of adds to this list. And just for fun, that's actor George Wendt's character Norm from Cheers representing my norms here in this takeaway. Takeaway number 4, and this sort of builds on number 3, is that one new norm, one new rule in terms of social media best practices that we're seeing is that posting too often is a big turnoff to people on Facebook and on Twitter. Now, as I said before, unfortunately, this doesn't tell us how often is too often, But I think that the guideline to go by, and it will be interesting to see, if research is done on exactly how much is too much. I think the guideline to go by is that probably more than one post per day is not, is going to start turning people off unless you really have important things to say that frequently. You don't want to overwhelm people with the amount that you're posting, and most companies, don't have something useful to say that often anyway. So that's something to think about. Too much is too much. But right along with that is that too little is really pointless. You've heard me say before that you don't want to leave your social media site vacant so that it ends up feeling like a ghost town where you haven't posted in a month or two. Posting too little means that you're really just not getting enough out of social media. The fifth takeaway is to not worry too much about the number of likers or followers you have, because breakups do happen. The research that we've looked at just now shows us that most people have left a company at one time or another, so that means that at some point people are going to decide to unlike you or unfollow you on Twitter, and it's almost inevitable that this is going to happen. So I think what's key here is to not worry too much about how many people you have. I think more important is to have a quality interaction with people. I think that's going to become much more important. And if somebody does leave you and you know who they are, and you know that you've noticed that they have left for some reason, you might reach out to them, not so much in the spirit of asking them to reconsider, but in terms of feedback. Just say, what was it about our Facebook page or our Twitter feed that made you want to leave? You might find out that there was something specific about the post that you were doing that turned them off, or it could be just that they felt like they were connected to too many things and their wall was too busy. Just think about that in terms of what happens when people do leave you. The last two takeaways are no, I'm sorry. Number 6 here is that you want to have an ongoing effort to attract people to your page. You want to continue thinking about how you might attract new likers or followers so that overall your audience is continuing to build on social media. You can consider promotions or things like that. One thing Pivot has just done is a Where Do You Want to Go campaign that I'll talk more about in a minute that has sort of helped us get some new likers on Facebook. You can tie it into an existing promotion so that you can tell somebody that they can get an extra $5 off on a promotion if they go and like you on Facebook, that sort of thing. But sort of be thinking about continual things to maintain and build that audience. Now the last two takeaways are challenges that I see with Twitter and Facebook. For Twitter, the challenge is to break through the noise. The most top reasons that we saw about people unfollowing on Twitter has to do with too many tweets or irrelevant tweets or things like that. And so really what you want to do is add value to the conversation on Twitter so that people look forward to seeing your tweets and not just that they think that it's one more irritating tweet that they don't want to see. And a good measure of how you're doing with your tweets is how many times people are retweeting your tweets or commenting on your tweets and that sort of thing. And also when you start getting random people you don't know following you, that's also a good sign. For Facebook, I think the ongoing challenge is to build real relationships with people so they don't have any reason to unlike you. You can do that by generating conversation, helping people with customer service issues, and just generally being a good and helpful community presence. That's key to keeping people that they really feel like they know you and truly do like you. And the last thing to mention, I mentioned it a minute ago, we have this campaign right now where we're giving away a trip for 2 to your favorite destination within the United States. You have about 3 more days to enter. It ends on February 28th. You can go to our Facebook page and write your favorite destination on our wall, or you can email me and I'll send you a link to our website that you can also enter there. So, if you're interested in winning a trip for somewhere in the United States, go ahead and give it a shot. And that's all I have. I noticed that we have a couple questions here. We're almost out of time. Just a couple of questions that I'm going to look at really fast and take. First of all, what's where can we find more information on the new rules of Facebook? If you're wondering sort of what best practices are, what norms are, things like that, send me an email. I have an article I can send you easily about sort of these do's and don'ts of Facebook. You know, as time goes on, we'll continue to talk in these webinars about best practices and things that are emerging from research about what people do and don't like to see. Another question that was asked was, what's the best way or the best place to post promotional information on Facebook? Should you do it on a wall or in an album or as a link? That's a great question. I think that posting something on your wall is always a good idea, just to keep it in front of people. You don't want to beat it to death, and you want to do it in a way that doesn't seem too salesy. Just, you know, hey, here's something that's fun and that we might have that might be seasonally appropriate, that is in amidst the other sort of conversation and helpful things that you're saying to people, not sort of the main message that people are getting every single day from you, hey, promotion, promotion, promotion. Certainly if you want to create a new tab for your Facebook page about a promotion, that's always a great idea. Putting something in an album, I could see doing that if there were photos that you wanted to share around a promotion, that sort of thing. Any of those are good ideas. And basically, I don't think there's a wrong way to do it in terms of mentioning promotions. So that's it in terms of the questions we had, I think. Thank you for joining us today. As I said, the webinar slides are going to be available on our Facebook page in just a few minutes, and you can see the address for that here. You can also register for the next Straight Talk webinar there. The next Straight Talk on Social Media webinar is going to be 2 weeks from now, March 11th. And it's going to be about being found online, SEO 101. SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization, which is the process of getting your website ready to be found on social media. And so I'll introduce you to that concept and some of the things that you might start thinking about in terms of being found online, and also the ways that ties into social media as well. Dave Newstratton's next Straight Talk on Telco Marketing will be the last Wednesday of this month, the 30th at 11. So you can join us for that as well. And remember that Dave is having this 15-minute webinar that's going to start in about 10 minutes here about our March Madness Picket event. So if you want to jump on that, you can send me an email, and I'll send you the link for that really fast. Anyway, that's it for today. Sorry to run a little bit over. Thank you so much. And please remember to keep your media social and your talk straight. Have a great day.